Howdy, folks. Welcome to Hookwork. This is episode 13, and we've talked about it in the past. There's no smoke machines, no super jump cuts or anything like that. This is just anglers talking to anglers, trying to give you things that you can add to your arsenal to help you catch more and bigger fish. That's the goal with Hookwork. And here recently, we've been bringing friends on, and it's been awesome. And that's going to continue. This week, we're bringing in Major League Fishing pro Kyle Cortiana. If you follow bass fishing, you know he's been on a tear for years now. Kyle, how's it going?
Man, it's great. We're here at Lake Guntersville still. This is our first break of the year. My dad actually drove up from Oklahoma, and we've been getting to spend time together leading into Father's Day and just going out and just catching bass. We caught a mess of crappie the other day and ate them last night, fried fish for dinner, and I just had cold fried crappie for lunch. It's awesome. We're doing great. No complaints.
So before we get into the fishing talk, and we're going to talk drop shotting in this first one, dude, your story is so interesting. Tell me a little bit about how you got where you're at right now.
Yeah, man, I'll try to do it as fast as I can, but we didn't have a boat growing up. My dad, he's sitting right over here. He's going to try to hold still and not make much noise, but he got me into fishing right off the bat. I was chewing on a rubber worm with a diaper on, and he was fighting me across the living room carpet. I've got pictures of that. So, but we always did pond hopping. We went below dams. We fished a lot of heated docks and outdoor boat slips for crappie with my grandma. She was a big outdoorsman, outdoor woman, outdoor lady. And anyway, so we just grew up fishing like that, from the banks and the docks and the shores and the rocks. And fast forward, I went to school. I went to OSU, got my engineering degree there, and came out, got a job. Me and Dad went out on halves on a bass boat. I think our payment was about $100 a month each. We bought like a 98 Pro Craft, fished with it with a 150 EFI, fished with it for a while, and then upgraded to a 2000 Ranger. Now, mind you, this is like 2015, and we got a 2000 Ranger that was new to us with a 200 Optimax on it. And just started fishing jackpots and just loving it. Ran some jackpots at Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. Asked Dad if I could borrow the boat, if he cared if I used the boat to fish a Costa Series. And in 2016, of course, I had his blessing. I went out and fished the Southwest division of the Costa Series, which was going to go to Grand Lake and Fort Gibson and Sam Rayburn. Never been to Sam Rayburn. And I ended up winning Angler of the Year and getting invited to fish the FLW Tour. And I was like, heck yeah, I want to do that. And so when Bill Taylor called and asked, I said, yeah. And he said, all right, well, I need like $8,000 by the end of the month, non-refundable. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you mean to tell me it isn't free? And he goes, no. He goes, this is going to cost you, $20-something thousand entry fees, And I was like, wait a minute. I thought I'd just get to fish, And so I had no clue, and rallied up just enough sponsors to think about risking what savings my wife and I had. And I had a guy call me. I have to tell this because it's such an important part of my story. I had a guy reach out to me that had never met me. He met a mutual friend, and my mutual friend had talked to him about me making the FLW Tour, not really having the money to do it. That guy went on to have a dream that night. God told him in his dream that he was supposed to help me chase my dream. He drove from Oklahoma City to Tulsa, Oklahoma, picked me up at my engineering office, took me out to lunch, said he wanted to talk to me about sponsorships, told me about his dream, got back. He said, will $10,000 be enough to get you over the hurdle? And his name is Jimbo. His real name's James Taylor, but he goes by Jimbo. And I said, I think that'll do it, man. Are you sure? And he goes, yep. He goes, it's not a sponsor. I don't have a company I want you to promote or use or nothing. It's just... And he's sitting there stroking this check, and he hands me the check, and it's for $20,000, not 10. And he said, the only thing I asked is in that dream, I saw Philippians 4:13. I kept seeing that in the dream. And so ever since that day, I've had Philippians 4:13 on my jersey, my truck, and my boat. And I told him I'd never ask for another dollar. If I can't figure out how to grow my own relationships and make sponsorship dollars of my own, then I don't want to be doing this. And I still to this day, I never have, and we're great friends. But that's how I got started. And I went out there and I got my teeth kicked in on the FLW Tour the first year, but requalified by finishing third in Angler of the Year in the Costas, and decided to try it again. Got a few more sponsor dollars. Fast forward to 2021, kept fishing the tour, work 60 hours a week with my engineering job. And I asked my wife if she wanted to do something crazy. And let's quit our jobs and sell our home. We've tried to have kids. We've been unsuccessful at that. And both our dogs had passed away. And I got COVID and almost died. There was just all these things in life that just kind of pushed us this direction. And she was all in on it. So we sold our home. And in September 2021, we started living in a fifth wheel. She pulls the fifth wheel with an F350. I pull my bass boat with my Toyota Tundra. And we fish basically all the MLF tournaments that we can, invitationals being priority. And we just travel. And from January through September, that's all we're doing is fishing. And then we go back home in the holidays and we hang out in Oklahoma and do the holiday thing, go deer hunting, and repeat.
Dude, it's so awesome. I mean, it's your passion. Anybody that follows you on social media, your passion is so evident. And I don't want to say just about fishing. About life, about hunting, about family, about friends, about being a good person. It's just awesome to hear. And it's one of those things. We're talking to the Trokar audience, so most of the people watching this fish tournaments. They understand that when you win a tournament, it's like it's supposed to happen. It's like you can't do no wrong. It's just the stars align. It sounds like the stars align for you to get started, and you're fulfilling a purpose, and you're supposed to be here, and it's cool to hear.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Eric. I do. I touched on my wife. We really wanted to have kids, and we tried really hard to have kids, and when we couldn't, we're going on 10. We at that point gone on 10 years without having a child. But my wife said, "Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we don't have a child, is because you're supposed to chase this dream." And for my wife to say, still gives me goosebumps. For my wife to tell me that, when I know how bad she wanted children and how bad I did, but like for her, I was like, man, I got a good one, And the fact that she supports this and is such an integral part of this it just, like you said, everything has a line. There's been a lot of times in life when you look back and you're like, why did that happen? Why did we not have children? Why did this, that, and the other happen? And then you get to where you are sometimes and you're like, it makes sense now. Like this is just because this was supposed to go down. So anyway, yeah, thank you. And we feel so good.
It's awesome. And, the thing about hook work is we want to help folks catch more and bigger fish. And a part of that is chasing the dream. And when you feel it in your soul, you got to go out. We haven't talked about a bait. We haven't talked about a hook or anything like that yet. But I know that part of hook work is going to provide value to the people watching it. It's inspiring. It's just awesome. And it's the perfect way to start this. And your story's so cool and your passion. There's no way I could just talk about drop shotting right off the bat with you. We had to get to that part. Just to go back real quick, we met at ICAST the first year. Very endearing. You're telling me a little bit about your story and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take a year. I'm going to watch what he's doing, what he's about. Because at ICAST, it's everybody's going to deliver content and stuff, and it took me about 2 weeks to go. Yep, I should have added him immediately. And then the following year, we added you on the team, and it's been a blessing. For anybody in the industry, if Kyle tells you he's going to do something, he does it twofold. So in light of that, super weird segue, drop shot fishing. It's about that time of year. Let's talk a little bit about the drop shot baits you rely on for summertime fishing.
Yeah, so if you're talking about up north, which is what is about to happen. I'm about to be on the northern swing, get to go up and do the Champlain, the St. Lawrence, the Great Lakes, all that. It's the TK 150. You guys have had that for a while, and then you came out with the Pro V Ben one, the TK 150 VP. And that's my baby. I throw it in a number one almost exclusively. I also have a number two that I use when I get down to a smaller drop minnow, but it's that with a 3/8 ounce, eagle claw drop shot weight, and that's all I throw. 10-pound braid with as little as 6, as big as 10-pound leader on the fluorocarbon deal. But I like really long leaders. Some guys like really short leaders. I like a really long leader, especially when I'm up north. You're going to get hung up in zebra mussels and have to break off and retie and all kinds of stuff all the time. And I don't like having to stop, sit down, and tie a leader knot. And it doesn't seem to affect anything negatively other than I get a little more twist in my line if it gets too long. But
so you're running 10-pound main line. I'm assuming an FG. How long of a leader are you running?
I still tie a double uni, Eric. I am old school. I have tried and true. It's what my faith is. I have tried to hold that line with my toes, teeth, and ears and spin it and twist it. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I am an old dog and I don't want to learn this new trick. I really don't. And, but yeah, so I mean, that's my drop minnow right there. And that is my favorite color. It's spicy melon, but I'm just nose hooking that thing just like that.
Yeah.
You can see how that Pro V pin sets, and it will not only will it keep the bait sitting right there where you want it, but it also, when you peg the fish, when you set the hook on the fish, it keeps the fish kind of here. It keeps it away from wanting to come off. But I'm just nose hooking it. I'll just show you.
And what I always try to tell folks is, if you were to hook a piece of leather through that hook, through the TK150 VP, and you try to swing it up and down, it's got that stopping point of the V. The same mechanics that stops that bait stops the fish, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, that bait doesn't even want to go down it. It still wants to stay in that V, even though I've got it horizontal. It's still staying right there. And so if I'm in an open water condition for these northern smallmouth particularly, then I want the hook out and open like that. But if I'm in an area where I think I'm going to get snagged on some grass and stuff, and I'm trying to do this, then what I'll do is I'll just come in halfway and bring it out towards the head of the minnow, just enough. Hopefully you can see that to where like that's poking my finger just enough. And now I've got the bait like this. So that's another trick that I do to help keep the unwanted weeds and stuff like that off the bottom on it, and it still works really well.
So just barely poking, barely exposing that point to where, as soon as it's a Trokar. When you hook them, you own them. As soon as it touches and makes contact, it's a done deal.
That's a done deal. Yeah, I really like that. I really like doing it like that quite a bit. Same deal again. The minnow doesn't lose its position on the hook there either. That's really key. You don't want that. Yeah, you don't want that minnow to end up like that very often.
Yeah.
Hopefully until you hook him or her. But part of the deal is this really durable plastic of this Great Lakes Finesse drop minnow. But the other key component is that hook. 100% is that hook. Having that bend take place where it does helps hold that bait there. And both of these techniques for rigging this bait.
So tell me a little bit about this spicy melon color, because it's something that I haven't seen before. What is the draw with that color?
Yeah, I don't know. When it gets in the water, especially up north, there's that light penetrates up there so deep. I couldn't even guess and be right. At 30, 40 plus foot deep, you can see. But when that gets down in the water, the way the sun penetrates through that really aqua green water and hits this, it just creates this really beautiful translucent shimmer to it. It'll just sell you. I don't know if it's like those emerald shiners that are down. There's a lot of emerald shiners up north. And I have a feeling that it reflects light a lot like those emerald shiners do. But there is something about it. I wish I could put a sunlight behind this thing, kind of see what it does. But it really gets a cool thing going. Let's try something. Let's be fun for a minute. Let's see if this does anything. Oh, this is blind you. That didn't do any good. Anyway, I'm trying.
I get the concept of it. So it's just interesting because you're talking, you fish all over the country. So you might be fishing, the muddiest water in the world. And then in the blink of an eye, you got to transfer over to gin clear water that has light penetration. Who knows how deep? And the fact that you got all these bites dialed in and you stay so consistent is just awesome. So if you were to give folks that are watching this one tip, you got to give them a bait, but give them one tip on drop shot fishing for smallmouth, what would it be?
Don't move it. That's hands down probably the most important tip. It took me a long time to learn that. Coming from Oklahoma, I was a complete northern idiot. Like, I had no idea what to do or how to do it. But when you drop that down there on the drop shot, let's say, your leader's whatever down here, 14 inches. The stronger the current, the longer the leader. Okay.
Okay.
Anything past 25, 30 foot deep, like on a St. Lawrence River system, go to a 1/2 ounce. Anything shallower than 30 foot, you're cool with a 3/8. But I'm giving you more than one. But the main tip is when that gets down to the bottom and the current's wanting to bring your bait down, do all you can to not twitch it, don't hop it, just let it naturally come. You're literally dead sticking your rod, just holding it there. And every now and then, you might have to pull it free of a zebra mussel or something. But if you know that you're on that boulder that fish is holding on, a lot of times when you're up north, you're drifting backwards and you go over your target. So you see, my energy drink is a rock, right?
Yeah.
So I'm taking my boat and I'm watching my 2D sonar or forward facing, whatever you have, and you see your boat drift over the top of the rock and you see it down there. And now your bait's over here in front of you, you're drifting back. When you think your bait's by that rock, you don't want it to move. You don't want the current to take it downstream. You don't want to wiggle it. Just let it sit there and just let that bait do the work. Let the current blow by and just wiggle that worm in their face until it loads up. That's the most important thing I learned is don't overwork it.
That's money. I mean, it's one of those things where you see folks all the time that maybe they're not used to fishing gin clear water or whatever. It's like they're all hopped up on Mountain Dew and they're wondering why they're not getting bit. That's perfect. So one more time, tell us the bait and the color again, because that's juicy. I want folks to be able to leave with that and go pick those up to pair them with the TK150 VP. Yeah,
so this is the new 3.25 inch. This is the Great Lakes Finesse drop minnow. If you fished up north, you've probably heard them. They just go by GLF, but Great Lakes Finesse. This is the new 3.25. It's a little bigger. They have a 2.75, which is smaller. I pair this one with the number 1 TK150 VP. But if I go down to the 2.7, the 2.75, I'll go as small as using the number 2 drop shot hook. So you could still use the number 1, no doubt, but the number 2 fits it really well. You're trying to just keep that hook as subtle and as hidden as possible in that really clear water. Those smallmouth, they're such visual feeders. So anything you can do to try to trick them. And that color is called Spicy Melon. They've got a lot of really cool colors out there, and they've come out with some new ones this year. So, but that one, that one's the deal.
So folks all over the country, you've got the recipe right there. Great Lakes Finesse, Spicy Melon, which is a color that's going to be different than everybody in the world throwing green pumpkin, right? It's going to offer something different, or a shad profile and then pairing it with a hook that's going to get it done. And to use the tagline that Z came up with, when you hook them with the Trokar, you own them. And Kyle, it's been awesome. We appreciate it so much, and we're going to be checking in with you from time to time. We'll be watching you up there at the top of the standings like we always do. We appreciate it a ton, and say hello to your wife and your dad for us.
I'll do it. Thank you so much, guys.